Hello Squirrels and welcome to PPM6 TV. Today what it is something a little different. Recently I reviewed these Neumann NDH20 headphones and found them to be very excellent indeed. But in the course of the review I came across a site which is on the screen behind me, which is an outfit called Sonarworks. And Sonarworks, what they do is they take your speakers, they take your headphones, and they measure them, or I think if you've got speakers you can measure them at home, and the idea is it's a sort of custom application of an EQ curve to the particular monitor device you're using in order to get flat monitoring on all your available monitor equipment. So they claim to be able to monitor, to equalize your monitoring to within, plus or minus a dB. Now that's a very interesting idea, and I guess it's been around forever. People have had EQ switches on their speakers, people have had all sorts of EQ on their, certainly on their hi-fi stuff at home. And interestingly actually, that's a coming thing in hi-fi. I think if you look at the Lin space optimization system, the question of optimizing replay for room acoustics and stuff is becoming a big deal. Anyway, it's very hard, of course, to measure headphones, and so what happens is they measure the headphones with, I think they use a Neumann head, and then they publish a curve, and they supply you with a bit of software, which I should have downloaded, but I just can't be bothered for reasons that will become clear in a minute. That you get a bit of software and you then insert that effectively in your monitor path, and what it does is EQ with a particular curve for the equipment you're using. Now, one of the things about the NDH20s is their bass. I mean, I've been looking for the right word. Terrifying, monstrous. They have a very significant bottom end, and you'll see that on the curve that Sonarworks use, but also there's a nice, good German site, which if you look hard enough, you'll find a good review of them, and they've got, I don't think they're using a Neumann head, but they've got a curve there. And the question is, what are we going to do with that? Are we going to stick an EQ into our headphones the whole time? Are we going to pay the money? Sonarworks is not cheap. It's not hugely expensive, but it's not cheap. And of course you need a different curve for every monitoring situation, if you've got multiple monitors in your listening room or if you've got multiple headphones. And so the subject of this review is how to do that on the cheap. And it's using a bit of software by Vincent Borel, who is a kind of an unsung audio genius. Maybe he's not totally unsung, but he's kind of on the low. And I've been using his software for quite a long time. It sits as kind of like an output driver almost in your on a Windows machine. I think that it's Windows only, and it allows you to do all sorts of things, mix together signals from all over the place. But it has built-in EQ, so you can cheat a little bit and get the Sonarworks experience. Certainly to try it without lashing out the cash. So what I'm going to do now is fire up some screen capture software, which, if you know my things, I've not really done a lot of screen capture. I'm a novice. So the sound quality is going to change because I'll be taking off the lavalier and using a gun mic or something. But who knows what will happen. But hopefully I'll show you, if you do have a pair of NDH20s or indeed any headphones or monitoring, that you'd like to think, well, what would it sound like if I just applied some EQ to everything? Remember, this is not EQing your source material. This isn't putting EQ in a track in your playback software or your DAW or anything. This is actually sticking it in the monitor feed where it affects everything that goes through it equally. Then this is a way of trying it. The Vincent software is free to download, but please, if you're going to use it, and I do recommend it, give the guy a donation. Be decent about it and reward him for all his hard work. So onto the machine, run up screen capture. Let's start EQing these bad boys. Here we are in screen capture world, and on the screen there you can see the Sonarworks website, and they've got a review on there of the Neumann NDH20 headphones, and they have a reference to their measured frequency response. Now I should say that when I asked Mr. Neumann about this, he said, yes, we are familiar with Sonarworks and with their business model. That's all he had to say. And of course, we've all got a business model. Nothing wrong with that. But we leave it to, I think he was leaving it to ourselves to decide, was it something we want to pursue? So anyway, you can see, according to their measured response. You've got a kind of tip up in the bass, that's about 6 dB. You've got a little bit of a cutout there. That's sort of centered around, you know, I don't know what, just below 100 Hertz. Somewhere up here, 3K, a little bit of suck out there, and some excitement up here at the top end. Now, I'm sure Sonarworks would happily provide you with the right software to put all that right, but I want to suggest that you might want to give a try to this bit of kit here. It's called the Voicemeeter Banana, and it's called a banana because you can do audio over a network. There is an ordinary Voicemeeter which leaves off the networking components, and there's even a potato. I'm not sure what the potato does. It's a very great bit of software because you can have multiple hardware inputs. So you can see up here, my input is coming in, and that's actually coming in from my Motu 112D, a bit of a plug for that, great bit of kit, and it's going out on here to back to the Motu and into my DAC for me to listen to. Now on this output here we have an EQ, and you can have a look at it over here, and if we remember what our graph was like, you can try EQing it just to see if you like the idea. So there's something going on at the bottom end, and so if that frequency there is at 50, and I put about 6 dB in, and it's kind of tapering off its effect up there in the low hundreds of hertz. Well, it's not perfect, but it's a start. And then I mean, you've got all these bands to play with, and they can be each of these things. There's this one I've set up to about 3K. Switch it on. I've just put a little bit of a lump in at 3K. Maybe we want to broaden that, the Q there just a little bit. So we can broaden the Q of that. Maybe look a little bit more like that. Actually, no, maybe sharpen the Q rather than broaden it. And maybe even put another something alongside it. But I won't bother with that for now because this is a quick and dirty view. And then we can add a little bit of cut at the top end, and actually you've probably got enough filters to track, you know, one or two of those lumps and see what you think. Now you've got the great advantage of being able to A/B it with flat and see if you like the sound, see if you're a Sonarworks guy or if you're a Neumann guy, and all of that for nothing from Vincent, although VB-Audio is the thing that you should be searching for. I would say please give the guy a donation. It's a fantastic bit of software. It does all sorts of wonderful things, and mixing and so forth, and you get a recorder, and you can record any audio that's going through your system, and that, you know, it's kind of worth having. It's not the world's most intuitive software to use, I'm sorry Vincent, but it's awfully handy. And of course, if you try this and you think, oh, actually that is the answer, I've really found what I want to do, then of course you can go to Sonarworks and pay real dosh for their approach. I'm not going to take a view about whether you should have EQ or flat. I'm going to say just try it and see. It's got to be worth a bit of a go. Thank you for watching PPM6 TV. Great to have you with us. Do come back again soon. Bye for now.